Okay, we're going to repair a GE oven board that's giving an F20 error. It's a fairly easy repair. By the way, video is intended for qualified appliance technicians to learn how to do this job. So it's giving us an F20 error. This is a model number right here, JT3000 SF3SS. And here's a picture of the oven right here. So this is a board we're going to replace. I'm actually going to replace all three of these relays here. And here's the reason why it's doing that is, so this is your bake and broil circuit right here. The circuit is from L2. It goes through this DLB relay, which during any cycle this relay closes and stays closed unless there's a problem. This is your high limit right here, your high limit thermostat. Okay, so voltage will appear here during any cycle. So your L2 will appear here during any cycle. And it's going to come up against a broil, bake, and convection bake. This particular model does not have convection bake. And so what happens is you're going to get, and I'll use black for L1, this voltage is always right there. So what happens is during bake, this relay here, normally close of the broil relay is to energize the bake relay. This is your bake relay. I'm going to go ahead and label these. This is bake here. This is broil here. So what happens is this relay, when it's normally closed, this relay is not activated. Voltage appears at the common of the bake relay. And when the bake relay is energized, then this voltage will come over to here, this side of the bake element. And this will shut off. This cycles back and forth. This will shut off. And then this will close. And the broil element will be on. And then it's going to go back and forth. And it uses the heat. This comes back on. So the bake element will get hot. And it stays hot because it stores heat. So it uses that stored heat in conjunction with this broil element to more quickly heat up the oven. So this broil element augments the preheating process. What happens though is that this relay right here gets stuck right there. And the reason it gets stuck is because broil uses a lot more current than the other elements do. This is your wattage table right here, and the broil element is only 14.4 ohms, which comes out to the current that the broil element uses, using power divided by voltage, comes out to 16.6 amps, which is very much short of the relay's 30 amp capacity. But what happens is it cycles so often and it uses more current than the other elements that over time the relay contacts just wear out and they start welding together. When they weld together, this gets stuck right here and this broil element just stays on. The broil element stays on. It heats up very, very quickly because the top of the oven is the center is near the top of the oven, and so is that broil element. Here's a picture of the cookie sheet that the customer was using. Now she said this occurred during bake, not convection bake. Well, she doesn't have convection bake, but this occurred during bake. And this is a picture of the cookie sheet that she was using. And this occurred after 5 minutes of her starting the cycle. So very obviously to me this broil relay is bad. So we're going to go ahead and replace this broil relay in this video. I'm going to replace these two relays as well. This relay here, which is bake, and also the DLB. The DLB is just a safety relay. And what happens is when you get an F20 error, this safety relay will open up and break this circuit so that you have no more voltage over here, even though this is stuck. So that's a safety relay. I'm going to replace all three of these relays here just because I want to renew the customer's board. But in reality, this is the one that's caused the problem. So I'm only going to replace this relay here, the broil relay, in this video. Otherwise, it's going to be redundant. So this is the board right here, and this is the housing for it. First, I'll show you how to get this out, and then we'll get the soldering equipment and remove that relay and we'll replace it. Okay, first we're going to release this board from the enclosure. It's a little bit tricky. There are a couple of tabs. This is another board right here that I've already taken out, another one. You got 4 retainers right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, on each side that you have to release in order to get it out. So I've already started this side. There's access holes here where you can reach in and actually press this tab here. So you're pressing, you're pressing this tab right here. You're pressing that tab, and you can press this tab from the outside, but those access holes you're using to press those tabs right there. Those two. So these come loose. Okay. Same on this side. Okay, so this board is partially out. All right. And same on this side over here. I'm going to Okay, so I've got the board out, and we're going to expose the solder side of this board here. There are tabs here that you have to release. In order to do that, you have to do this incrementally, just a little bit at a time. It needs to be done gently so you don't crack the board. You can see you have these connectors here. These are going to act effectively as hinges when you open this up. So you can gently flip this open like that. All right, now we have exposed the bottom side of this. We're going to use the Hakko FR301 desoldering tool. This is a really good desoldering tool for this type of work. It makes it a lot easier. In fact, I would never do relay replacement without one. There's a link to one of these in the description of this video. I do make a commission on these sales if anybody buys one through my link. And thank you for your support. Okay, we got our Hakko desolder all ready to go. The red light, once it goes out, okay, it's gone out. That means it's heated. Ready to go. This is the pen. Again, this is the relay we're going to replace. This is your broil relay. This is your bake. This is your double line break. I'm going to replace all 3, but in this video I'm just replacing the broil because this is the one that is most likely a problem. And just for the sake of not being redundant, I'm not going to take these other relays out, at least in the video anyway. I'm just going to replace this one for the purpose of the video. So you find your pins associated with that relay. It's your desolder on it. Let the pin completely liquefy. Once that's done, give it a quick pull. You don't want to keep pulling it because the air flowing past it will cool it down and cause it to unnecessarily any other solder in there to re-solidify. Same thing on that pin. On the other pin that's associated with the relay, give it a quick pull after you've liquefied it. So these are the 3 contact pins. That's your common, your normally open, and your normally close. And this one here, these are your 2 coil pins here. Let it liquefy. Sometimes you can move it around to make sure the pin is centered. Okay, so it should be just about ready to come out of there. I'll put a little bit of sideways force on the relay and then just additionally heat it additionally. Alright, there we go. And we'll just connect this here. So this is a relay we're going to replace. This relay, there should be a link to this in the description of this video. Again, I do make commission on any sales associated with links that you click in this video description. Thank you for your support. So this is the relay that we're going to replace it with. It's the same relay right here, except the common and the normally open and the normally closed. We will swap this out when we're done. We'll go ahead and install this relay. Alright, so we're going to install this relay here. I'm just going to seat it in there. Once I've got it seated, I can put a little bit of solder just on one pin to hold it in place. Just kind of to tack it down. Push the relay down, make sure it's fully seated. So that'll be your kind of your tag pin right there to tag it down. Alright, so the way I solder, that's how I do it, is I'll get a little bit of solder to flow just to get the pad hot, because liquid conducts heat much better than a solid. So I get a little bit of liquid solder on the pad. And once that is on there, then the pad is really hot. Then I let the pad, I'll go between the pad and the pin and just let the heat pull it in. I'm not touching the tip of the soldering iron with it. And I'll do the same with the other one. A little bit of solder to liquid solder, so you have a good thermal contact between your soldering iron through that liquid solder and the pad. And the pad is hot, and I just let the pad, along with the heated pin, just pull it in. And again, I don't need to touch the tip of the soldering iron. So this is the other pin of that. Pull the solder in here. These are easier because they're smaller. Same thing there. And same thing there. Alright, so that's soldered in. And you can use 90% or better alcohol to clean this. I use this stuff here. This is a contact cleaner. Spray it. And I use a boar's head brush to clean it off. Get any residue off of it. Just nice and clean there. So we got that soldered in there. And we'll go ahead and put it all back together after I replace these two relays here off the video. I'm going to replace these two. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that the oven is working without an error. Okay, so this is the oven in operation. We did a couple preheats on it, and it's at 350. Gave us a preheat notification, and it's been holding steady on all the levels, temperature levels that we've set it at. So looks like we're good to go on this one. That's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting and informative. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel.